Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy J House, aka Sky Dweller, aka the philosophical wonder. Who is he? How did he get here? How does he know? Where did he get this information? How is he able to synthesize it the way he does? It's like, nah. What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday. It's your boy. Back at it again. I told you I'll be back today. We're trying to be consistent. It's the summertime. You see me posting something from last summer. It was a pretty cool view of a quantum mechanical symbol. So check that out. Anyway, quantum mechanics, let's talk about it. Because when we talk about spirituality, in a lot of the religions, there's a lot of supernatural stories, in pretty much all of them. Well, science has its own supernatural story, although it's actually real to the point to where we can actually see it, notice, observe it, do experiments, and observe the accuracy at about 99.9% accurate. So this underlying quantum mechanical structure that we live in is called the quantum mechanical wave function of the universe. And this wave function is like the base layer, so to speak, of the operating system we call reality. Now, electromagnetism, gravity, and the forces of nature operate emergently from this fundamental basis of reality called the quantum mechanical wave function of the universe. Things, think of large bodies of water, right? That's all there is that large body of water. Well, think of that as like fundamentally reality, metaphorically. So if quantum waves and water can be put together, think about a big old bucket of water. Now, this big old bucket of water, if it gets shaken, or if there's a lot of fluctuations in this bucket of water, a lot of bubbling, the water can start to sway back and forth. Now, with this swaying, it causes water to build up on one side and you get a splash, okay? Now, the splash is the equivalent of inflation theory, the Big Bang, how everything started. So it's through these, bouncing off of the edge of the cliff and whatnot, and the edge of the pot, and you get the splash. The splash is everything to us. Is our way to form something off of that potential energy. Okay, so we come from that, and that's like some of the, what seems supernatural or what seems, mystical, but it's actually real. Like science and the wonders of the universe can uncover and discover things that are far more imaginative, far more spectacular than anything anybody could come up with, just based off of their imagination, is what I meant to say. So as we keep on uncovering the secrets of the universe, we're going to keep on getting awed. And that's what makes scientists go. That's the curiosity. That's why I'm a scientist at heart. Like, I studied psychology, trying to be a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. But, life led me here with y'all today on this Sunday, on this spiritual Sunday. So think about, okay, where do we come from? Just imagine energy spewed off of a whole big eternity of energy, and that spewing, that splash, creates everything we see. Okay, so it could be the froth. We could be as little as the froth, when we're talking about grand scales. Okay, so we formed from that based upon, rules of computation and rules on how nature, what worked, boom, nature created a rule. Like, it's just, there's there's a thing called ruleology that I have a very vague understanding of, because when this guy talks, it's very hard to keep up, because he's so out there with the abstract as far as mathematics goes. I'll get you his name in a second. It's Stephen Wolfram. Stephen Wolfram is the guy, and he's got like new interviews online about how, his thoughts on, how things are and not to be and whatnot. So he's pretty smart. Check him out. Okay, so anyway, the basics of the universe. Everything is made of, the visible matter that we see is made of protons, that you and I are made of, and everything we see is made of protons, neutrons, and electrons operating under gravity, under four forces: gravity, the electromagnetic force, the strong force, and the weak force of the nuclear force. And so what is the strong force? The strong force is what keeps the nucleus of an atom bind together. The weak nuclear force has other properties in that realm, in that subatomic realm. But gravity and electromagnetism is basically what we pretty much have to not worry about, but just know how it affects us. So since we know how all the mechanisms and the mechanics and the particles that make us up work, we can have a good base first principles. And this base first principles of knowledge in science is called the standard model of particle physics. Okay, so when you're operating knowing these first principles, you're able to spot BS, spot things that don't equal out to what we already know is real based upon what we've learned. It's what makes the world go. That's how we can make cars, computers, rockets, everything we see, even down to like psychology and economics, all the sciences, biology. So everything operates under the laws of physics. So once you learn the basics of the laws of physics and how the universe works, and you learn a little bit about how, how things were made, and you start to develop the spirituality, because you realize that you literally are coming from that, and then you realize that you literally are the universe experiencing itself. Because if you were made from the universe, then you are the you are the universe. You are you, but you're made from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through you and everybody else that's conscious. So if that's the evolutionary track of what we can observe to see, how you doing? Good morning. Then it's up to us as aware, conscious beings to protect this consciousness, continue to keep on breeding, making more people, more consciousness, and not letting it get extinguished. And how do we do that? Well, we know that conscious beings can live on planets, like, because we're here. Like, but we're the example. We're the example of how great and beautiful it can be. I mean, I'm literally walking in a beautiful neighborhood on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, talking to y'all. Like, life is awesome, right? So we have the perfect model, right? Now it's up to us to replicate this in as many possible ways that we can. Like, our job is to look out to find as many Goldilocks, or could be Goldilocks regions, where we can seed other planets so that this can happen again and more people can be born and alive and experience life, experience the magic of life, and that's why people that talk about is abortion, you know, right or not, you know, when you get down to first principles, like how I am, you're like, no, it's not. Like, life is so precious that if any in any instance of somebody, being born, then that should be, you know, taken care of and looked at as precious. You know what I mean? No matter what, you know. Anyway, I mean, I'm not, this channel is not for that kind of, discussion, but it's just an example of how just learning about the laws of physics and the universe can bring you to those, deep rooted humanitarian, human, issues, and topics like abortion. So, anyway, but, so, because y'all know I'm really big on suicide awareness and suicide prevention. That's the underlying reason why I do everything, to give people that positivity, that optimism, that, oh my God, we're headed into an age of abundance where everybody gets $10 million and can live in penthouses because the robots and AI are doing everything, and there's so much wealth that it just gets distributed to all the people. So I'm just here to let y'all know that there really is an abundance coming, and we're literally shaping it as we go, and we decide how things go, so us as a people, as a collective, need to get on board with this age of abundance, with this, optimism about technology, not being naive, understanding that yes, there is risks. And yes, you do have to, you can't just have your kid on, YouTube 24 hours a day. You gotta understand that yes, it's a technology, but you have to operate responsibly in this technology, to extract the good, relieve the bad, and as we go, we'll continue to keep on figuring out the bad and fixing it while continuing to extract the good, and then we'll reach a point to where we're so smart. Look at this. Look at these guys. If you can see that, these are straight running, but we'll get to a point to where we're just so advanced that we just supersede everything. And then we just start evolving and turning into this godlike entity, singular and as a collective, transcending our biological bodies, being immortal, populate. Because in order to do things like seed planets and populate the universe, wake it up, make it smart, create the dawn that just illuminates the universe. Like, as humanity gets more and more technologically advanced, it's like the sun's coming up, you know, to the point to where we'll be so advanced that it'll look like this big, like, you know, open light, you know, and it'll be like a city in space, you know, of conscious, thriving life. You know, maybe we don't even need planets. Maybe we're just able to build planets. Like, am I thinking too low? You know, maybe we build planets kind of like the structures that you see in Star Wars and Star Trek. So I know this has been a little bit of a longer Sunday session, but I'm just really here to I'm just really excited because things are accelerating with technology, and we're at that point now to where, you know, every month we're having breakthroughs, and it'll start being like every 3 weeks we have breakthroughs, every 2 weeks, every week, and then it's just going to be like, you know, and that's what they call the singularity, where we don't even know what's going to be happening, you know, until we get there, because it's so advanced. But the crazy part is that with exponential growth, it happens in such a short time. So when you start getting to that point where crazy stuff starts happening in weeks, you know, days even, you know, we're closing in on that date, and that's why people like me that see it, you know, have this enthusiasm and want to share it with the world. So be optimistic, stay tuned, keep spiritual cosmology close. I love y'all. Happy Sunday. Peace. Scott Dwella out.